We have a question from Greg. Greg says, you talk, that would be me, about changing exercises based on the season or every 6 weeks. Everything works for about 6 weeks. Every program works for about 6 weeks, yeah. You talk about needing to do the basic human movements in roughly equal volumes. I think you should do the push, the pull, and the squat in roughly equal volumes, but not necessarily the hinge and low to carry, or groundwork, or climbing, or break-eating. But the push, pull, and squat, basically, if you're a North American male, you probably need to pull more because of all the pushing you've done in your career. As long as over the course of the year I do all the basic human movements in roughly equal volume, will there be a big drawback for not doing one or two specific movements for the entire season, 3 months, while I focus on the other basic movements? No, Greg. In fact, if you really listen to what I talk about on Easy Strength, whenever I do an Easy Strength program, I stop squatting, and for 2 months, up 4 months in the one experiment, didn't squat. Now I did the movement of squatting every day. I did goblet squats, but I didn't squat. Interesting. At the end of that, when I went into an Olympic lifting program, my squat actually was better, which makes me just even more convinced that my insights on push, pull, hinge, and squat, that quadrant I've been working on lately, is even more correct. I'm a push hinger, and my my squat improves when my hinge improves, which makes no sense to me. With a busy life, it often seems easier to just focus on one or two movements for a period of time versus trying to do everything else. Yeah, I like that idea. So, you might want to pick, yeah, that would be kind of an interesting thing. Do a seasonal approach. Now, obviously, in the winter here in Utah, you probably aren't going to do a lot of Turkish get-ups and bear crawls because the ground is so cold. But boy, that's a good exercise. Turkish get-ups would be a fun summer thing. Turkish get-ups, bear crawls, and farmer walk suitcase carries. There's your summer, and then winter. What are the two fastest things you can get done? Probably, I don't know. In my case, push and hinge because I'm so good at it. Yeah. So in the winter, I would do either press and kettlebell swing, or a press and deadlift. There you go. That's power to the people for you right there. And that's in fact what Dr. Tom Fahey told me I should do. And I should have listened to him when he said that to me 23, 24 years ago. But I'm just too, insert adjective, stupid. With a young child and a job in construction, loaded carries and crawling is a large part of my day. Well, good. With this movement variety, does it make it less important to do all the basic movements every week? Well, yeah, and if so, what you're left to do is a push, pull, squat, and hinge. Yeah, I like this idea. I've never done a pull squat program, but boy, I mean, uh, that would be pull-ups and front squats. Now, I did have a program that recommended that years ago. It was called the Perfect 18 Weeks or something like that, where we just kept doing power to the people movements and just subtle changes every week to the lifts. Yeah, I think it's just fine, Greg. I would try to keep good notes while you do this, because I think there's going to be some things going on in your notes that will, and if you do it for 12 months, your notes to yourself are going to be really illuminating. Because I think, like, if you did the push hinge, like if in the winter you decided to go, just do, straight up power to the people, 5 days a week, 2 sets of 5 overhead press, 2 sets of 5 deadlift variation, and you did that for what is that, 12, 13 weeks probably. A season's 13 weeks. 12 is a number we often stop at, but it's correctly 13. At the end of those 13 weeks, that's a fair volume of pushes and hinges. And then in those last 3 to 5 weeks, as you're finishing that program and kind of looking forward to your spring pull squat stuff, you're gonna do pull-ups and front squats or whatever. It'll be kind of exciting. Of course, if you're like me, pulls and front squats would be a nightmare for 13 weeks or wherever it is, 5 weeks, whatever. I like the idea. Greg, and congratulations on the child, and congratulations on the construction job. And it's nice to see someone thinking outside the box a little bit. So good luck to you. Thank you. And get back to me on it, okay? Thanks.